I am in my mid-40s. I have a grown-up child. I used to be a primary school teacher and I roller skate. Roller skating is one of those skills that I just think you don't even know that someone is able to unless you see them doing it or they're wearing something that alludes to the fact that they've got a hobby. I think it's like a lot of hobbies, to be honest. You probably wouldn't realize that somebody is a yoga master or really talented with their martial arts or an amazing swimmer unless you've seen them do it, really, which I guess is the point of social media. But with more and more people limiting their consumption on social media and just being a little bit more conscious, I think there is room to have a chat about why people do different activities and what it brings to people. I coach confidence through roller skating. I started roller skating when I was in my early 30s, and I honestly thought I was having a midlife crisis. What? I can hear you practically shouting at me. I mean, when I look back at the photos from that time, I'm practically shouting at myself. But also, we can't know what we don't know, and we can't judge our younger selves for just not being as wise as we are now. I believe that every day we have the opportunity to learn something new and improve and just grow as a person. And I live by those words. So one of our values here at Roller Girl Gang is all about personal growth. So in my early 30s, I thought I was having a midlife crisis. I was going to work full time as a primary school teacher, and it's a very all-consuming life. I also had a small child, and I felt that now he had started school, maybe there was room for finding me again, because somewhere along the way, I just felt like I'd got a bit lost. I felt like I'd turned into a shell of myself. I'd sort of lost that, I'm going to say youthful energy, because I think it is a youthful energy. And I just felt jaded and tired and just, is this all my life is? Am I just going to follow this same routine forever? And I'm going to be serving other people all of the time, but never really serving myself. And that didn't feel right. So I went to sign up for a roller skating class, and actually it was at roller derby. I count myself as really lucky. When I went along, there was no question in my mind I could ever possibly have cancelled the booking that I made. No chance. So I went along and was wearing gym gear, and when I showed up, I felt really out of place because everyone else looked really cool. They had the same team colours, which I realised I hadn't researched, so I had no idea. And it was just really obvious that I was the person that was brand new there, had absolutely no clue what was going on. I mean, it couldn't have been much more obvious because I was borrowing kit and I also couldn't skate. So I thought, well, I roller skated a little bit as a small child. I'll be fine. I'll put them on. I'll be okay. It turns out it was much, much harder than I thought it was going to be. And I can remember in my very first session being really encouraged by another member of the team. But essentially, I was just going across one small end of the sports hall with my hands on my knees, just trying to remember to breathe and not panic and not fall over. I think my body, once I took the skates off, was so tense and exhausted that my muscles were, I mean, I don't think I could move for the next 2 days. I was so tired, but the thrill of being on roller skates, even if I looked nothing like the other very practiced skaters in the room, was just amazing. It was such an adrenaline rush. And I am not the kind of person that likes adrenaline. I am not a thrill seeker in that respect. I don't like fast rides. It's not going to happen. So the idea that I would roller skate was something that my family found hilarious. And maybe that is your perspective as well, that someone in their early 30s was just like, are you for real? I mean, like, not being funny, but you, non-thrill seeker, with a small child on all this responsibility, you're going to take yourself roller skating. I mean, we had all the safety gear on, all of it. And you still fall over and it still hurts when you whack your backside. But once I'd had a taste, it was addictive and I couldn't not go. I just felt so good when I felt that I'd conquered something new. What came out, I mean, kind of floating, right? Because when you're on skates and you take them off, you're a bit like, oh, I'm still kind of skating. But it was an absolutely just stunning feeling in my body that was really light. And for the first time, I started to feel more and more like myself. I got divorced. We were two people that met when we were young, and instead of growing together, unfortunately, we grew apart. I learned a lot of things through the relationship and the ending of that relationship. But most of all, I learned about myself. I was not good at communicating my needs at that time. I was really worried about it. And that was definitely a pattern in lots of areas of my life. And it's something that I'm still trying to unlearn. So if you're a people pleaser, then maybe it's time to have a go at doing something for yourself. And roller skating taught me that actually time for myself is not only important, it's essential. If I don't have time for myself, I'm actually not much good to anybody. So it's important to find that time, however it looks. My social battery fills up when I'm with people, as long as those people, obviously it's conditional, as long as those people share the same values. So what I've learned is, I'm a people person and I get my joy from being with people and celebrating their successes with them. I think that'll do. Thank you for joining me on this first episode, and I'm gonna keep sharing what roller skating taught me in future episodes of this podcast. But if you feel that you want to know more about my journey, then I'd love you to sign up to my newsletter. Thank you for listening, and I will see you on the next one.